What if I told you that Ferrari didn't gain performance in China, but rather that it was hiding something much bigger inside Hamilton's car? Subscribe to continue uploading more of this type of content now, if we continue. Because while everyone was looking at the famous aerodynamic package, there was one detail that went completely unnoticed, until Vasseur saw the actual data after the race, and was completely shocked. It was not visible. It wasn't illegal, but it changed everything. The way Hamilton was recovering and using energy was so superior that it forced Ferrari to rethink its entire development. The question is, what exactly did they discover in that car, and why didn't anyone see it coming? The Chinese Grand Prix not only marked a turning point in the season, it marked the exact moment when Ferrari discovered something that not even they themselves fully understood. Because until that weekend, the narrative was clear. The SF25, or its evolution, was competitive, yes, but still inconsistent, still in the adaptation phase, especially with Hamilton, who was coming from an adjustment process after his departure from Mercedes. In fact, in Australia, it had already been seen that Lewis was changing his driving style, gradually adapting to the behavior of the Ferrari, seeking more speed when cornering and adjusting his way of managing the car. Everything pointed to a progressive process, nothing out of the ordinary. But China completely broke that script. From the first moment of the weekend, with a single free practice session and complicated conditions, the teams barely had room to understand their cars. It was the perfect setting for any detail to go unnoticed. And that was exactly what happened with Ferrari. While other teams struggled to find balance, to understand tire behavior, or simply not to make mistakes, Hamilton began to show something different. It wasn't just speed, it was control, precision, a connection with the car that had not been seen even in the tests. In qualifying, he already gave the first serious warning, putting himself back in the direct fight, taking a practically perfect lap and demonstrating that he had made an unexpected competitive leap. But the important thing was not in the fastest lap. The really key thing was happening quietly, lap after lap, in race conditions. Because while everyone was analyzing times, positions, and strategies, there was an invisible factor that was making the difference: energy management. At a circuit like Shanghai, where hard braking and long straights create unique opportunities to recover and deploy energy, Hamilton began to do something different. His lines, his braking points, even the way he applied the accelerator, everything seemed to align perfectly with the car's hybrid system. And this is where the real mystery begins. Ferrari had not designed the car thinking that anyone could exploit that level of energy efficiency in real conditions. Yes, the system was there. Yes, the potential existed. But they did not expect that it could be used in such a precise, optimized way. Hamilton wasn't just driving fast, he was activating a window of performance that remained hidden. A window that no one had seen. Not even the engineers, nor Vasseur, not even the team itself in simulations. And it was precisely after the race, when they began to analyze the data in depth, that everything changed. Because what they found didn't fit what they expected to see. Energy recovery figures were abnormally high compared to any previous benchmark. But the most shocking thing was not just how much he recovered, but how and where he did it. That's when Vasseur understood that they weren't just looking at a good performance. They were facing something completely different, something that had been there, but that no one had been able to discover until that moment. And this is where everything explodes, because when Ferrari sits down to analyze the real data of the race, they discover that what Hamilton did was not a coincidence. It was a structural advantage that no one had understood until that moment. The first thing that catches the engineer's attention is that the energy recovery peaks do not coincide with the car's traditional patterns. In theory, the Ferrari's hybrid system was designed to recover mainly under heavy braking and manage deployment on long straights. A pretty standard approach. But Hamilton's data shows something completely different. It is generating energy in phases where the car, in simulation, should not be efficient. And that breaks all the models. Because Hamilton doesn't just brake late, he brakes extremely cleanly, keeping the car stable right at the limit, allowing the system to recover more energy without losing time at corner entry. But even more importantly, the way you release the brake and transition to the accelerator creates a perfect window where the ERS continues working while the car is already rotating. Is an intermediate point that engineers had not exploited. There is the key. It's not just how much you recover, it's when and how you do it. And when they cross that data with the aerodynamic package that they introduced, that aggressive concept that sought to reduce drag and increase top speed, everything begins to fall into place. Because that car, under normal conditions, should be more unstable in certain phases. But Hamilton turns this supposed weakness into an advantage. Having less resistance, he needs less energy to maintain speed, which allows him to redistribute the use of the ERS in a completely different way. I mean, he's playing with energy like no one else. And this is where Vasseur is completely shocked. Because what you see in the graphs is not simply an improvement, it is a paradigm shift. Hamilton is synchronizing his driving with the hybrid system in such a way that he appears to be ahead of the car itself. Every braking, every corner exit, every deployment point is millimeter aligned with the areas of greatest energy efficiency. This wasn't in the plan. Ferrari had built a tool, but didn't really know how far it could go. And the strongest thing of all is that this discovery not only explains its performance in China, it completely redefines the development of the car. Because from that moment on, the focus stops being purely aerodynamic or mechanical and begins to focus on how to maximize this interaction between pilot and hybrid system. Hamilton wasn't just driving fast. He was revealing the true hidden potential of the Ferrari. And then we come to the most important point in this whole story, because what Ferrari discovers after China not only explains one race, it completely changes the future of the team. Because once Vasseur and the entire technical department understand what Hamilton has really done, the question stops being, how fast is the car? And becomes much deeper. Have we been developing the car in the wrong direction all this time? And the answer, although they don't say it publicly, is yes. Until that point, Ferrari, like the rest of the teams, was focusing much of its development on improving downforce, stability, and overall efficiency of the package. But what Hamilton demonstrates in China is that there's a completely different layer of performance, one that depends not just on the car, but on how you interact with it. A layer where the ERS stops being a complementary system and becomes the central axis of race performance. And here comes the key twist. Because if a driver is able to unlock that level of energy efficiency, then the car no longer has to be perfect in all areas. You can allow yourself to be more aggressive, more extreme, even more unstable at certain points, as long as that extra energy compensates for those weaknesses. That changes everything. Ferrari goes from trying to build the most balanced car to trying to build the car that best adapts to this new style of energy exploitation. And that has enormous consequences, because it means redesigning priorities. It means that future evolutions will no longer focus only on pure aerodynamics, but on how to facilitate these recovery and deployment phases. It means that the car will begin to revolve around this concept, and in large part around Hamilton. But there is something even more important, because if Ferrari now understands it, the rest will also discover it. And at that moment, what today is a hidden advantage becomes the new battlefield of Formula One. Energy management will no longer be a technical detail. It will be the difference between winning or disappearing in the race. And the big unknown left by China is not just what Hamilton did. It's how long it will take for others to copy it. And if when they do, it will already be too late. Because Ferrari didn't just find performance. He found a new way of understanding Formula One. But there is an even deeper point, one that almost no one is talking about. And that could turn what we saw in China into something much more dangerous for the rest of the grid. Because so far we have talked about what Ferrari discovered what Hamilton did and how that changes the development of the car. But a key piece is missing in all of this, the domino effect. Because in Formula One, when someone finds a real advantage, it doesn't take long for it to leak. Engineers, indirect telemetry, comparisons, GPS, behavior on the track, everything starts to talk. And what Hamilton did in China, although it cannot be copied directly, leaves clues. Many clues. And this is where the real game begins. The other teams have already seen that Ferrari, at certain moments of the race, had something different. It wasn't just rhythm, it was consistency in areas where there is normally energy degradation. It was an attack and defense capacity that did not fit with what was expected of his package. And that raises suspicions. But the problem is that, even if they detect it, it is not easy to replicate it. Because this is not a piece you can copy in the wind tunnel. It's not a spoiler. It is not a suspension. It's an interaction. And that means that to achieve it, you not only need to understand the car, you need your driver to be able to do exactly what Hamilton is doing. And that's where many teams are going to fail. Because this kind of advantage is not installed, is built. He trains. It is perfected. And while others try to understand it from the outside, Ferrari will already be working from the inside, optimizing every detail, adjusting the car even more to this philosophy, expanding that window of performance that they now know exists. This creates a gap. A silent breach, but extremely dangerous, because it can't be seen in a single turn. You see it in the race. You see it in the details. You see when a pilot can defend himself without losing battery, or attack at just the perfect moment without running out of energy afterwards. And if Ferrari manages to consolidate this before the rest fully understands it, they can build an advantage that is not measured in tenths, is measured in control, in domain, ability to decide when to win. Therefore, China is not just a technical story, is the beginning of an invisible war. A war where not the one who runs the fastest wins, but the one who best understands how to use every joule of energy. And right now, there is a team that has already seen the answer. Ferrari did not hide an illegal part, they did not hide a magic trick, what they really hid, without knowing it was the true potential of their own car. A potential that was there from the beginning, but that was only revealed when Hamilton found the exact way to exploit it. China wasn't just a great performance. It was the moment when a new dimension was discovered in Formula One. Because while the rest continued to look for performance in aerodynamics, in strategy, or in tires, Hamilton showed that the key was in something much deeper, in energy, in how it is recovered, in how it is used, and in how the driver can become the decisive factor in unlocking that entire system. And that leaves a very clear reflection. If a single driver was able to change the internal understanding of an entire team like Ferrari, then this is not just a one-time improvement. It is the beginning of a new era. One in which it is no longer just the fastest car that wins, but the one that best understands how to convert every braking, every corner, and every acceleration into pure performance. The real question now is not what Hamilton did. The real question is who will be able to achieve it. Subscribe to continue uploading more of that content. Now you really think about all this.